Hi, welcome to Nigel K's latest tomato growing video. As I say, we'll have a little look. The tomatoes have been in roughly now about 8 weeks since we planted them out into the grow bags and pots. As you can see, there's plenty of tomatoes coming on them. The lower trusses are basically filled with tomatoes. We're just waiting for these to start swelling up now. So the plants are doing well. One thing I want to show you today is with my tomatoes, once I let them get to 6 trusses, that's basically I count up the number of trusses, and once I've got 6 on there, I basically take the growing heads out of them, so I nip the growing point out of them so they can't grow anymore. I've took that one off there. There is one over here I've left to show you, which is this one here. Well, there's a couple here I've left you. So effectively we've got 6 trusses on this plant here. So the only thing I'm going to do is just nip the head off, just like that. Then that tomato won't grow anymore. It'll stay at that height now because we've got 6 trusses on. So it basically means all the nutrients now will be concentrating on feeding and filling the tomato fruits themselves. So this is when we should really see the tomato fruits starting to swell, because the feed now is going into the tomato fruits, not into the tomato plant. Again, jobs again for this week. We should be removing side shoots. Just trying to think of anything I've left. That's one I've left here. A couple left to show you. The biggish ones I've missed actually. If you do miss them, this is how they can end up. So effectively, they're taking the goodness out of the plant. So we need to follow that back down to the knuckle, which is in between the stalk and the stem, and we'll remove that. And effectively, there's one there as well, which I've missed. So we just remove that. So we need to be removing all these that grow from the corner between the stem and the leaf. We need to remove all those because that robs the goodness out of the plants as well, and the tomato fruits themselves. Again, every day, hold the cane, hold the plant, tap like this, because that's essential to get the fruits to set. We need to disperse the pollen from these flowers to enable them to pollinate, and then as they pollinate, the fruits set as well. Other things to look out for, again, we've got no blossom end rot, which is excellent. As I say, we run right through our fruits, and blossom end rot usually affect the underside of the tomatoes. They usually go flat with a black spot on. We've none of that in any of the tomatoes because we've been using calcium nitrate. So we've been using calcium nitrate, we've been feeding that every 2 weeks. Once the first truss sets, feed your calcium nitrate every 2 weeks. And also as well, at the moment I'm also using a soluble tomato feed. I use that twice a week. As I say, I feed twice a week with my soluble tomato feed, once a fortnight or once every 2 weeks with my calcium nitrate. I done a video a couple of weeks ago on where I get these from. The calcium nitrate, if you look back on my last couple of videos, I've shows you the calcium nitrate, and also I've got a little tag underneath it where to buy it from. I get mine from eBay. And also as well, I've had a few people asking me what tomato feed I use. Again, it's a soluble powder. I get that on eBay as well, and that's actually called Grow-a-Lot soluble tomato food. So if you put into your search bar on eBay, Grow-a-Lot soluble tomato feed, it'll come into that's the one I use. Secondly as well, I think a couple of weeks ago in one of the videos as well, I'm spraying them every 2 weeks. As again, the plants are completely clear, no green fly, no black fly, no rust, no anything. And I spray them every 2 weeks with Organicide. I did show a bottle of that in my last couple of videos. Again, if you forgot, if you go into eBay again, type into your eBay search bar Organicide, and then it comes in a litre bottle that you dilute down. So the weather's been good, as I say, so we're watering nearly every day. So as I say, we're feeding twice a week. We're watering every time we don't feed if the weather's sunshining. And also, most important, the calcium nitrate, you need to feed that religiously once every 2 weeks, and you will not get any blossom end rot on your tomatoes at all. Well, thanks very much, and join us again in another couple of weeks for another update. Bye bye.